This finally we have first video of this series. In this video we are going to discuss introduction part of .NET Core, the new feature which is introduced in .NET Core 7, how to set up our .NET Core or Visual Studio 2022, and a quick overview of solution, and then we have some question session in which we will discuss a question which is fall in this series. So once again, welcome to my channel. I'm Saroj Jha. Please subscribe my channel. So agenda for this video is introduction to ASP Core .NET, a new feature of ASP.NET Core 7 setup environment. We will discuss about the server, Castrol server or IIS server, create our first application, then file system. We will discuss about launch setting.json, program.cs, etc. Important question from the session. Now let's start, friends. So basically ASP.NET is this ASP.NET Core is a free, open source and cross-platform framework. As you know, we can build our application, cloud-based application such as web apps, IoT apps, or mobile backend, or a web backend also. It is a modular framework that run on both .NET framework as well as cross platform .NET, which we can run on Linux or Apple. So basically the structure of entire .NET system is something somewhere like this. So we have in 7 or 6 or 5 3 point or .NET Core, we have a Core CLR, .NET native runtime, and then this one is run on we can run on Windows, we can run on Linux, Apple, and so on. So now first, what are the feature which is introduced in .NET Core 7? That is rate limit middleware are provided in a .NET Core 7. So what that mean basically? So you can add your service. This time this code, if you if it is not making sense to you, don't worry, we will discuss in a detail in upcoming session. So what over here we are adding a service of rate limiter and adding a parameter limit 4 and queue limit 2, time spam for a 12-second, and a policy name is fixed. We will discuss these things in a upcoming video. So the next feature which we had .NET has introduced, that is nullable page in a view model. In our Razor view, we can reference our nullable model to our view also. We can have then next feature, that is try phrase, which is a parsable interface. So in this example, if you see, we have like a date only. We are trying to phrase date from the segment. So we have a two date segment, and we are trying to phrase that in a 0th location we are putting into a from date, and on one segment location we are putting into a to date. So in only one segment we pass, and we can phrase it into a two different segment or more. So we basically implement parseable, and then we implement that. These all things we will discuss in our upcoming video. So don't worry guys, if it is not making sense right now, no problem, we will discuss these things again. The next feature which we have, that is regarding this JSON consistent cookies. In a cookies consistent validation uses the cookies value yes to indicate constant. Now we can use a true also. And the parameter binding, previously we are using form services and bind the parameter to OK. These two function basically return a date, but over here if you can see there is no form service, we can bind directly to our properties. We will discuss more in upcoming session. So the next, which is very much important, that is minimal API. Minimal API have a lot of new feature which we will discuss in a separate entire session or maybe a two session. Over here if you see a binding array and a string value from the header or query string. In your query string, suppose see this get API tag to name, we are passing 3 name, we can parse that into a tag like tag 1 0, name 1, tag 2, name 2, tag 3, like so on. By default, when the validation occurs, it throw an error. Now we have in .NET 7 we can introduce our property name in error key, property name as the error key. So if you want to do that, you will have this model metadata detail provider and add the newtons of JSON. So your error, whenever error occurs, that property name also included into a error. Now the next thing is we have to download environment setting. So go to this site visualstudio.microsoft.com/vs and download community edition 2022, which is free. Professional and enterprise you have to pay. You can use for test sometime, but I am using community edition for entire video session. So we have this I had already downloaded. So guys, you can download and start follow the instruction as it provided. Now let's create our first app. So let's move to Microsoft Visual Studio. So we'll open this. Here you can see you can create a new project. This is a welcome window. On a new project you can select any of the template from here. Template is going to be populated over here. So currently we are for testing purpose, for first app we are going to create this template, this one, and then next, then we can have a name like say my app. So this name will be created. Now do next. Now .NET 7 standard term support. For us recording we will use long term support .NET 6. If anything change in the code, I will let you know for a .NET 7. For right now we will use .NET 6 and then create. Now it will load your solution with the default file, and we will discuss the structure of that entire solution. It will take a few seconds to load your template model view controller. So basically we are creating some example. Over here we have these file, dependency, connected service, properties. Inside of properties we have launch setting, we have a www root. In MVC, in web app we do not have we won't have this www root. Then controller, you will place your controller over here, app setting and program. In this session we are going to discuss about launch setting and then Program.cs. In a launch setting, if you see, we have like IIS setting. This is a server, and this one is a Castrol server. You can use any name, any key setting in a profile you have a two profile, IIS Express and my profile. So first one is a Castrol one and another one is a this IIS one. If you see over here this my app, whatever your key over here, like say we have a key like my Castrol app. If you save this, this will change to my Castrol app. So if you run, you will get this like my Castrol app. And this one have this some key value pair application URL. Your URL will be running on HTTPS localhost 7013 or on HTTP 5222. You can launch your you can see your URL, you can see your web application on there. And this environment variable, we have a separate session, we have a lot of environment variable, we will discuss about that also. So this one ASP net core environment, currently we set it as a development, that means we are on a development mode. We can set as a production or a staging or anything, yeah, production, staging or development. So on this, if you see, we have a local host 7013, your program is running. This my app, and you can see this over here 7013 on HTTPS. So this one is a launch setting .json. Now the next one is a program.cs, in which we can see this on a .NET 6 or 7 we do not have a startup file. Previously we have program.cs and startup.cs. So both are done over here itself. So for a configuration we have different builder.service add configuration, like that. So we are declaring our application through the create builder, and we are adding a service. These are adding service area, then we are building our application, and this one is our use. So it's depending, this sequence is very important. We will discuss more about these things later on. So yeah, that much guys we have from this session. Now we can, now we had already discussed this launch setting, and then we have next thing. So we have already discussed this. This one we have already, there is a server, Kestrel server or IIS server. On if you running on a Linux, then we have this one, reserve proxy server, Linux server, IIS server, and Nginx or Apache server used as a proxy server. Then it's phase 2 through the Kestrel, your application get invoked. On IIS it is directly through the HTTP. Now we have a next page, that is about the question from this session. So these are the question like what is ASP.NET Core, list the feature of ASP.NET Core, list the difference between IIS and Kestrel, write the use of launch setting. These are the question which I think it's important for a interview perspective. So guys, you can have answer of this question over here. You can take a screenshot of this. You can have question number 1 answer, 2, 3, like on 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 answer, and then you have yeah, then you have a last question number 9, create builder, these answer. So whatever the answer, in our all video we will try to introduce some question which is useful for interview perspective. So get tuned. In our next video I am going to upload about the HTTP, what is in a next video. From the next video we are get involved into a coding, and we have a practical session more, less theory. So we are going to discuss about HTTP response header, HTTP status code, like what is state 200 as a success, 400 unauthorized, what is the response in a JSON or a header, what we are going to provide in a HTTP request, what kind of request we are accepting, what header we are accepting, and query about we will discuss about the query string, we will discuss about the request body, how to send request body, how to get a response body, and what are the HTTP verbs like get, post, put, delete. We will discuss all those. So guys, thanks for being with me. Please subscribe my channel to get alert of upcoming videos. Hope you are doing well. Thank you.